For beginners in No Limit Hold'em tournaments, it's pretty important to play kind of straightforward and don't get too far out of line. Don't try and get too fancy. And that's where I think a lot of people get in trouble. They try and pull off bluffs against people and they wind up going broke with subpar hands. So I always recommend play tight, don't get fancy, and stick to the basics, ABC, big pairs, ace, king, ace, queen. And don't call raises with, subpar hands, king, queen, king, jack, even ace, jack, and even ace, queen, depending on who the raiser is. When you come to a final table, you always have to look at who your opponents are, what their experience level is, how bad do they want to win. Are they just trying to move up a spot or two to get a few extra thousand? That's all the questions you should be asking. And you can really pick on the guys who are trying to move up a few more spots. Just, if they raise, you might move in on them with, 6-7, just because they're going to throw away an ace-queen. So, but you need to, pick your spots well. If it's somebody, if it's somebody like me, I don't care about moving up a spot or two. I'm trying to win the whole tournament, so I might call you with an ace-queen. Whereas the next guy might throw it away and try and move up a spot or two. So kind of the same thing applies about the chips. You don't want to allow yourself to fall too short. By that time you're anteing in the tournament, unless it's pot limit. But if it's no limit, you're anteing, and it's going to eat up your stack really fast, so you're going to have to play aggressive. Especially when you go below six-handed, you just got to really open up your game and play a lot more hands and be more aggressive than you normally would be. I try and prevent myself from becoming a short stack. And what I call a short stack is 10 to 12 times the big blind. So, if the blinds are 4 and 800 and I've got 15,000, I might start to play a little bit more aggressive. I don't want to fall below, the 10 big blinds. Once you fall behind that, somebody raises and you move in, they're tied into the pot for pot odds. So even if they're out of line, raising with like queen jack and you move in with them with ace king, you really don't want them to call when you're a short stack, and they just have to call. And you might wind up being a 2-to-1 favorite, but you're laying them 3-to-1 because you just don't have many chips left. So it's correct for them to call, and then they wind up beating you. So I might start to deviate from my standard play once I start to get short. I might move in on somebody with, say, an ace jack or something, just to. Normally I wouldn't do it, but I don't want to become a short stack, and so I start to take a few more chances. Well, mental stability is everything in a tournament. If you lose a hand and get upset and throw the rest of your chips away, that one hand is going to destroy you. And on the flip side, if you can, let it brush off you and forget about it, then you can do well, and put it behind you, and you can continue to do well. But yeah, mental stability is everything, and especially in poker in general, but tournament specifically, it's very important. Heads up is always depends against who you're up against. If you're up against somebody who's weak and tight and just kind of got lucky to be there, you obviously want to be extremely aggressive and keep the pressure on them. And if you fall against somebody who's the opposite of that, say like a Gus Hansen, you can sit back and wait for a hand and try and let him hang himself, or you can mix it up and gamble with him. Either way, it kind of depends on how the cards are falling and your particular style of play. It always depends on who you match up against, and you need to have several game plans, several styles of play. So depending on who you match up against, you can use your different styles to counter their styles. So you need to have a lot of different game plans.